Titchener.
I'm Reed Martin.
I'm Dominic Conti.
And we are the Reduced Shakespeare Company.
And my face is freezing off.
This is our very first video podcast, hopefully first of several. And we're in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and I don't understand why we didn't do this in Miami first.
Well, there wasn't the Battle of Miami in the Civil War.
True. This is what we do for you RSC podcast fans.
So last night we played the Majestic Theater in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and today we are standing on the site of the Battle of Gettysburg for our first video podcast.
That's right. We're up here on Cemetery Hill. And why is it appropriate that we're visiting Gettysburg Memorial on the weekend of the Barack Obama inauguration?
Well, I was saying, here we are at the Battle of Gettysburg, maybe the turning point of the Civil War, fought among other things, slavery certainly.
Yeah, you're crying, you're so moved.
I'm crying, no, I'm crying because it's so cold, although I am moved. And then we're driving down to Washington, D.C. tonight. We're going to do several shows for high school students who are coming to Washington, D.C. for the inauguration of our first black president.
Yeah,
so.
And he's America's first colored president.
I guess
what
you're
do you mean
0 for
colored?
4.
You can't say that.
No, specifically, he's America's first blue and red president.
Now, if we pan over to our left here, you'll see here's the Confederates were down there. They're trying to charge up the hill, and the Union soldiers held this position. If we pan the other direction, you'll see one big advantage that the Union soldiers had is they were able to arrive in these very nice buses that are parked right over there by that water tank.
And they had already had statues erected of them, so it was pretty clear they were going to win.
Yeah, they were pretty confident because the statue was there commemorating the victory. Things were going to go their way.
This is General Winfield Scott. And I don't know, is this, what do you think, Reed?
Is that to scale? Pan down to Dominic. Dominic is the tallest guy in the company. How tall are you, Dominic?
6'4.5".
He's 6'4.5". Now, if you look up,
yeah,
General Scott is like 20 feet tall. So there's all kinds of things you don't really get a perspective on until you're actually on the battlefield. But clearly, if the Union soldiers were 20 feet tall, they had a big,
they didn't have
literally,
all those chemicals in their food, so they were.
Yeah.
They grew them bigger then.
Yeah.
Advantage.
No wonder we won the war.
Yeah.
Then we drove down to Washington, D.C., where the town was inauguration crazy. But first we had to do 3 shows, the first of which was performed in the ballroom of the D.C. Hilton for a Presidential Youth Leadership Conference. Our backstage area was in the Hall of Presidents, and we got to use the presidential dressing room, complete with presidential seal. We also got to go where no non-president has gone before.
So here we are. We just found out, when I walked in, it looked kind of familiar. And I said to somebody, is this where John Hinckley shot Ronald Reagan? And we found out after the show that indeed, we just did our Complete History of America abridged in the hotel, and we're sort of standing on the spot where it happened.
That's history!
History continued with our 2 performances at Constitution Hall, and then continued out onto the streets of Washington, D.C., where people were using the occasion to make political statements. I don't think that's actually true. Not if you do it right. 2 million people from all over the world descended on Washington, D.C., I guess just to see us. Which probably explains why they had so many of these.
I finally got up close to the Lincoln Memorial. Unfortunately, the concert was 2 days ago, and the inauguration is way down
Mrs. Rosalind Carter.
there.
The vibe in D.C., I have to say, was joyous. It was like the World Series, the World Cup, and the Super Bowl all combined on the same day, and no team lost.
Faithfully, the President, Officer President of the United States. Congratulations, Mr. President.
A fun inauguration fact. They used to inaugurate the president in March, but in 1841, William Henry Harrison gave a 2-hour speech in weather as cold as this. He caught pneumonia and died less than a month later. And after that, Congress decided to move the inauguration from March back to January in the hopes that other presidents would follow Harrison's example. Yeah, it's too bad that Reed and Dominic had to leave. They had to fly back on Inauguration Day. I really wish they could have, stayed here and watched the festivities. Oh, there they are.
This podcast is a production of the Reduced Shakespeare Company, reducing expectations since 1981. Go to reducedshakespeare.com for performance dates, actor bios, email newsletters, and so much less.